Hey guys, welcome to another East Coast Rams podcast. I am your co-host Ashton, here with my awesome co-host Zach. Uh, it is a nice W Monday, Victory Monday. I miss these feelings, Zach. I miss this feeling so much. Um, Going through the game, not as much. It was a grind, a slog, and I thought we had a pretty decent preview there. Zach, how are you feeling? How are you doing? And have you kind of washed off all the nastiness from that brutal game?
Oh, hey, it was a fun game to watch. I mean, was there panic moments? Sure. There were some things that you wish you would have taken back, but we knew from our preview, if you watched our preview episode, we knew this was going to be a slugfest. We anticipated this wasn't going to be a super high scoring game on either side. Um,
Yeah.
but what we saw what the potential of the Rams could be on a week when you're not having, a top 10 defense playing against you. And so you really look at this team and you're like, all right, we got some pieces together. Now we just need to put it all together and show what we can do and fix those silly mistakes that they did on the field. But I
Hmm.
was really impressed, and we'll break it down even more detailed. But for someone like Matthew Stafford, who really has only been practicing with the team for the last couple weeks, and trying to get up to speed to having some chemistry with Devonte Adams and things like that, I thought they did a really good job, and our defense was elite. And I'm
Oh
excited
yeah.
to break this game down.
No, no, definitely. It was I was driving, so I am now Zach 5 and I think 5-12, 5-11. I have to go back and add up, but we're getting better in the win column there. Always like to see that. Hopefully, with you going to the Titans game, we can get your attendance record a little bit on the more positive side against a kind of weaker Titans team, and we'll talk about that a little bit later too. But it was definitely an interesting game to kind of see how both sides played it, and just happy to start off the season with a dub. I know uh, it's what we've lost the last two week one home openers against the Bills, and then last year was the Lions.
Yeah. Yep,
Yeah.
tough two opens, but
Mhm.
obviously, winning the opening game, it doesn't necessarily mean anything as far as what your future is going to look like. Obviously, the Rams lost, but still were able to get into the playoffs last year. So but it's one of those things that it's that good feeling of getting into it, getting that week one win. Kind of just pushes you into week two, and kind of hopefully that will kind of have a successful season. Before we break down the game, do you want to talk about injuries real quick? I'll give the injury update.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
All right, so we have three injuries that happened kind of throughout the game. Obviously, well, we had four. Puka Nakua obviously had that head injury, bloody down, but he was fine. Obviously, came back. Kevin Dotson and Steve Avila are week to week with ankle sprains. Obviously, you may have noticed Steve Avila coming out, Bo Limmer going in. Steve Avila did come back and play the rest of the game, and Bo Limmer kind of helped slide. Covering with the Dotson situation, but they're both considered week to week, which is better than being out for multiple weeks. So we'll keep an eye on that. Kobe Parkinson also has a AC joint sprain, so he is.
He went back into the game too.
Yes, ACA sprain, but he finished the game. Yeah, so
Yeah.
they're all kind of taking it kind of day to day, week to week. Did I see? I think Kobe Durant. I'm trying to find that out, but I think Kobe Durant also popped up a little bit with a shoulder injury as
Yeah.
well.
They released his interview. I think that was from yesterday, but he didn't say they didn't ask about anything with Kobe Durant. So
Okay.
yeah.
So yeah, we'll see how it goes. But luckily, obviously some bangs and bruises. Obviously, I think Dotson is really important to have on this team. He is arguably one of our best, if not the best, offensive lineman that we have. And so we really hope that he has a speedy recovery and is able to get back on track.
He is, I would say, by far the best lineman we have on the line. Havenstein is always consistent, but I would say like we almost never hear anything about pressure coming through from Dotson at all. So hopefully he can get back. You don't want to rush him too early and like have him re-injure or make it worse. So, and we'll talk about Limmer later because he had some really good reps and some really not good so looking reps, some rough ones out there.
Yeah, so that's kind of the minor updates for the week. So let's talk about this game. So obviously the Rams won 14-9, again against a really strong Texas defense, and keeping Stroud down to 188 yards. We got 3 sacks on him, got an interception. This defense came out in full force. It seemed kind of quiet for Jared Verse. And I kind of wish I would have saved that image that we saw. But from what we saw, he was pretty much triple teamed most of the time. Who does that remind you of? A player that is consistently triple teamed for a good portion of his.
From what I saw, it wasn't overly consistent, but he was getting consistently chipped, double teamed, and stuff like that. That was only a few plays, but the fact that they're focusing that much on him is a testament to his work and his skill set. Now, defenses or offenses are starting to notice. They're really starting to notice.
Yeah, I mean, he's fast. I mean, I think that there was a little bit of over targeting again, similar to what happened in the beginning of the season last year, where sometimes I feel like he zoomed kind of past Stroud when Stroud was trying to make some, running lane moves. But otherwise, I think he was out there. He was fierce. He made himself present. Obviously, the defenders wanted to, stop him at all costs. And that allowed some of the other defenders to actually get home to Stroud. So, yeah, I thought that was, it was just an excellent performance by them. Tyler Davis, Jalen McLeod, and who else got the sack?
McCullough. Was it McCullough? Yeah.
McCullough, Davis, and Byron Young.
Byron.
Yeah, those 3 got home to him. So yeah, it was a great night for this offense or defense.
Yeah. So let's start off kind of like bigger picture. Like normally week 1, you do have some mirages in week 1, typically in the NFL. Now, the question we have to ask ourselves as fans, is this a mirage? Is this like one of those things where this team is just like a little fluky because either one team comes in really weak or not prepared or big injuries, etc.? I don't think this is a mirage for either team. I think these are both like mirror images style of the same team, top 10 defenses. At least ending the year with offenses that came out of last year struggling, right? Outside a few games, the Rams had a bottom 10 offense. And that's just being honest. I don't think that was Stafford's fault or McVay's fault. It's just a lot of things added together to make that offense very one-dimensional. And when you talk about the defensive game plan for the Rams, it was to make the Texans offense as one-dimensional as possible. Someone pointed out, and very rightly so, that they were using a lot of bunch formations and they weren't going spread very often. They weren't airing the ball down the field. They weren't even trying to. The Texans knew they had to be quick, and especially with passing, and they knew that they had to try to run and pound the rock. For the most part, we contained the run until the fourth quarter, and passing wise, all they could do was like quick passes, slip screens, and some screens. And for the most part, our linebackers played lights out. Landman, even before the fumble, take the fumble away, he had a fantastic game, just being everywhere, taking down wide receivers on first contact. How often, Zach, especially in the last 2 years, since Jones left, like especially last year, did a linebacker come in and just bounce off someone? Running back, tight end,
Yeah.
wide receiver just bounce off them, not make the first, and making our safeties have to go in and try to tackle that person with full energy. Happened a lot. Did not happen this game. Now, Texans dealt with a lot of like O-line issues and stuff like that. So
To be fair, we
Texan
did
fan,
too.
yeah, and we did too. Both D lines are very good, but I just remember being in a live space and these Texan fans were so confident, and it almost like they didn't realize like our D line just almost broke the sack record in postseason. And there's not a mistake for that. They are sincerely really good. And we gave Stroud one of his 10th worst pressure ratings since he's been in the league, with him throwing almost entirely under 10 yards the entire game. And I will just kind of add this. This is the passing chart for Stroud. And the Texans offense, as you notice, they were focusing entirely 10 yards and shorter. They had, I think, 8 out of 27 attempts were 10 or more. And then only 3 20 or plus, and one of them became an interception. So when they did try to take shots, it wasn't very often and not very successful. So it's really a credit to this D line for getting that amount of pressure. He was pressured on 42% of his dropbacks, Zach. 42 with getting the ball out of his hands as quickly as he was. That is kind of nuts. I was listening to Texans podcast and they were complaining that that their play calling was so conservative. I don't think they could have been more aggressive. When they did, they got punished severely. And, a few of the times that they were trying to have longer developing plays, Stroud got sacked on or nearly sacked. So it was a definitely good outing by the Rams defense. It is more confirmation that they are the real deal. The Texans offense isn't the greatest thing, but Stroud is a good young QB.
Yeah.
Uh, that O line was supposed to be revamped. I still think it's a bottom 10 unit in the NFL, but it is not the worst like last year. I thought Ursery had some solid plays. He also had some really bad plays. And, I was told by some Texan fans that he was going to lock down Verse. Definitely didn't happen by himself. So good game by defense.
Yeah, great game. I mean, you can't take for granted about what the defensive side for the Houston Texans did either, because they did contain Stafford for the most part. They did a really good job of, kind of holding that defense. Kind of looks like Ashton might have froze up on me, so we'll give him a minute to come out. But kind of what Ashton was saying though, like they were missing some pieces on the Texans team too. Christian Kirk was out. Obviously, Joe Mixon is out, so they had to bring in Nick Chubb, and so he was really just kind of left with, obviously he had Jaden Higgins and Hutchinson and obviously Nico Collins. But that's something that I also wanted to bring up as Ashton tries to reconnect here, is that, we had sorry, I lost my train of thought as he dropped off. But it was just a sign that that the defense just played well. Obviously, you had Nico Collins, who's probably the best on their team as far as wide receivers go, and he was matched up with Witherspoon pretty much the entire time. And it was I think he allowed, 2 passes for like 4 yards or something like that. Witherspoon is clearly, you know, if not CB1, almost there has to be an A and B version of the cornerback position. There's just no way that Witherspoon gets a lot of grief, and I don't know why, because the Rams continue to believe in him, and yeah, it's just crazy to think that people need to start giving Witherspoon that respect. Let's kind of jump on to the offensive side of the ball a little bit. We'll talk about Kyren Williams. We'll talk about the running backs first. Kyren Williams is just just one of those consistencies that you want. The Rams had 4 active running backs. They wanted to bring Hunter on, or they have Hunter on the active roster. They brought Schrader up from the practice squad. So that was kind of really interesting, and really wanting to understand why they did that. Did they think that they were going to play a lot of more 2-back situations? Were they going to mix it up a little bit more? Did they want to put Schrader in, or at least have him as a backup, and maybe try to put in Hunter a little bit? But that didn't really happen. I am going to throw up the kind of the offensive stats, snap counts real quick. But you can clearly see on this that Kyren Williams was in there for 82% of the snaps. Obviously, there's still a lot of trust with Kyren Williams, and him being in 82% of the time does show that too. He had 18 carries for 66 yards, and only averaging about 3.7. Was able to get that touchdown, and really did a good job as far as that run blocking. I think he had one miss early on, which wasn't great. But clearly, they still believe in Kyren Williams. They still have a very big high efficiency rate with keeping him at 82%. Hunter Long, a running back Hunter or Stroud. Man, I am messing up a little bit with you gone, Ashton, but Schrader was not able to. They didn't play at all. So we're talking about running backs right now.
Yeah, Jarquez Hunter and Cody Schrader.
Yeah.
Neither of them got snaps. Quorum had a few good back by penalties. And hopefully my Wi-Fi router doesn't fumble again. Apparently.
Oh man, he is just having some bad internet issues. Oh yeah, you're kind of cutting in and out, but we'll keep the flow running a little bit. Let's talk about Stafford real quick. When you kind of feel like the game really only had 2 touchdowns. It didn't feel like the Rams offense was really exploding. They had 3 really good drives. One of them kind of capsized with that fumble from Parkinson. But he still was playing at an elite level. He was 21 for 29, 245 yards, the 1 touchdown, and had a passer rating of 109.1. You watch all of the games this weekend. You watch the battle that happened last night between Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. You watch a lot of these quarterbacks throwing up all these crazy numbers. But did you know that Stafford had the highest PFF grade of a quarterback for week 1 outside of what's happening tonight with Monday Night Football?
Yeah, it really doesn't shock me, Zach, just because of the windows he was having to throw into, and this secondary so just so well put together. In the back end, the safeties really come crashing down hard, so you don't really get a lot of big window throws, even with Devontae Adams and Puka there. And both of them were doing really good jobs getting open. Don't feel bad, Texans fans, because Jalen Petrie, he is not alone in the club of getting wrecked by Puka, and the ability that he has to fill out your coverage and get open on different choice routes, especially since he's being able to be more moved around since Devontae kind of came in. But I also found it a little interesting, Zach. What do you make of them putting their number one corner on Devontae and not Puka, and trying to put a safety on Puka?
Obviously, I think that they were trying to keep it safe. They knew that, Puka was going to be a target, but I don't think that they were anticipating him being a deeper threat. I think that they were kind of thinking the focus was going to be put more on Devontae, only
Mhm.
because when you go into this and you have a veteran presence like Devontae, you know how much of a red zone targeter he is, and he's able to make plays. I mean, shoot, I was worried for that guy's sake when he caught that first ball and he was like pancaked between two Texans. I thought that was done for him for the week. But that dude is tough, and that dude,
Mhm.
you know, just gains all my respect. But I think the game plan was we can't. We know Puka's going to be a problem, but we'll keep him kind of contained short. That's probably what the Rams are going to do. They're going to kind of play him more of that Cooper Cup style, and they're going to let Devontae kind of go around and try to be that secret weapon to kind of keep. So that's what I think the Texans' game plan was.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I kind of saw it like they were trying to focus on making sure that we had no run game and no screen game as an extension. They wanted to make sure that we had to throw to win this game, and they had confidence that their pass rush and their cornerbacks on second and third and long could get enough stops to eventually win them the game. And they weren't necessarily wrong. I felt like Kyron for the first half of the game really struggled to run the rock through the middle. Their linebackers did a great job of kind of getting good just penetration. Now, some of that could also be because of the O line shifting so much injury wise. So, uh, I mean, Algier, he's a fantastic linebacker, and he was just wrapping up. Kyron couldn't really break tackles. Um, I thought Corum was a lot better suited when he did get his opportunities of being able to shift a little bit more quickly left and right. And that's where I feel like he could be a better change of pace if we actually, not change the pace necessarily, but a little bit more shifty option if we give him more snaps. Now I know McVay's not going to do that. He likes his workhorse back, but it was a little disappointing. All his plays got called back. And Zach, do we want to mention how robbed Jordan Whittington in his career has been? He's had what, like 4 or 5 huge plays just taken consistently back by like silly penalties.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy about that. I mean, we two at least from just week one, this week one, and he definitely had 3+ last season as well. I'm going to bring back this chart because that's the other interesting thing is right now we don't know who is going to be wide receiver, who's really wide receiver three. Right now, it's kind of being shared between Whittington and Tutu Atwell. Whittington actually
It,
jumping up, getting 50%, and Tutu Atwell getting 42% of the snaps.
Well, a part of that too is he's the fill-in for Puka, and so when Puka was out for a drive, he got almost all the snaps because he
Sure,
can better fill his like role.
sure.
But uh, you know me, I thought Whittington played better than Cup last year, and if you watch that Seahawks game, Cup wasn't doing much, and I hate to say it, it he has fallen off a little bit, and Whittington has played so well. He was so elusive. He has strong hands, and then just looking at the way he can fill in into kind of like our different um sets, it's really impressive. Tutu has a different skill set. And I feel like this game, the Texans wanted to take away the run and take away the deep shot. And for the most part, they did that. The only deep shot we got was to X, which was a fantastic catch and a fantastic throw.
I don't
37
really
yards, I
think.
believe.
I don't think we gave. To me, honestly, I don't think we did a good enough job. I wanted us to take more deep shots. I wanted us to be a little bit not so safe. The Rams continue try to play it so safe. I mean, we're 3rd and 11 and we run the ball just so that,
Mhm.
like it doesn't matter that if we gain 3 yards or we try a pass and we don't gain any yards. Like I want us to be more creative. And that's when we got creative, is when, Stafford's at his best when he is creative and being able to throw to X, being able to, that last play to Puka was another beautiful pass and another beautiful setup. They were expecting a run and they tossed it over to Puka. I want us to see, like, and again, this isn't bad on Sean McVay, but we have said this. We have always we said this for the last few seasons, is that when they get back behind on a 3rd and 11 or 3rd 10 plus, they just run the ball and give up. Like, we don't try to get the 10 yards.
I will say the caveat to that is, depending on the team we're playing and the options we have, I understand being a little bit more cautious and how the game is going, right? I feel like the energy and the tide, how like, if our defense is reeling, then yeah, we probably need to go for it a little bit more and pass on 3rd and 7 when our, like, defense has been gashed for 2 touchdown drives in a row. I definitely get your opinion there. But in this type of game, our defense was playing so well. I kind of understand just going low percentage, and it was really going to be the first team that made a huge mistake, get a huge turnover, that was going to probably lose this game. We
But it
just got
almost was the
lucky
Rams.
enough.
We got lucky that it was back to back. We each had one.
True, but they also had a fumble that they luckily recovered, that I believe Stroud or one of his linemen got. So, I mean, it's one of those things where I really do believe that, for the most part, McVay called the best game he could against a really stingy defense, and I'm proud of the guys for kind of going through all the O-line injuries, because Stafford was getting pressured pretty consistently.
Yeah. Kind of finalizing this a little bit, going back to the defense. Couple things that also noted off. Obviously, Landman, huge. He was the biggest pickup for us on this defensive side this game. I mean, being able to just, you saw his presence, you saw his command pretty much throughout the entire game, but just coming in when the Rams needed it most to punch that ball out, and Brandon Fisk to be able to jump on it, like, that just brought so much excitement to the stadium, to the field, to the energy of the game. And the Rams just needed, they needed the offense to do just that little bit more to keep the play going and to get to victory formation with that nice pass to Puka.
No, and it was a really awesome recovery. He, like, paused it and then, like, one hand grabs it, all while diving at the, I think, right guard's feet. I couldn't remember, right guard, right tackle, or diving next to the right guard. But yeah, that peanut punch, we heard about it all preseason, but I didn't expect to see it, Zach, this soon. I thought we would get in the first 3 weeks, but apparently he told team he was going to make it this week, and
yeah, hey,
he got the opportunity.
I've seen the Rams try this so many times. You watch it happen, and they just can't do it. And whether that's because of the linebackers we had at the time, which we've ranted about that. Don't get me started on Reader this week. Muffed it on special teams for us for that Whittington thing. But
60-yard return.
Yeah, but man, having that guy on our team, he's really going to bring his presence, his expertise to this defense. So really excited about that. On the flip side, one of the curiosities of this week was that Darius Williams did not play a single snap this entire game. Do you have any thoughts about that? But I mean, but it's weird having that veteran just sit the entire game. Didn't play special teams, didn't play anything. He was just he was not quote unquote benched, but for all intents and purposes, he was benched.
I mean,
that was the game plan going into it.
That's because they had McCullough playing kind of like a star role, and like Kitchens and Curl up top. So it, they didn't need another DB. And Kobe Durant, Manuel Forbes, and Akello did a really good job. Their star wide receiver one, Nico, like he only got 36 yards, something like that, 3 or 4 receptions. I mean, why put him out there?
I mean, he's just, even if you look at last season, he played well last season. It had to have been something that over the last few weeks, over the course of training camp and things like that, that they really saw more stuff from, whether that's with Witherspoon or with others, with Forbes Jr. and Kobe Durant, just to make it a tick over Darius.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know what the Texans have in like Higgins and I forget his name, the other Iowa State wide receiver. We don't know what they have in them. And they also were missing the slot wide receiver they just picked up from the Jaguars. So
Yeah, Christian Kirk.
yeah, Kirk. They were light on receiving options. Cade Stover and who's their other tight end that came over? Schultz. I would say Schultz is the second best pass catcher on that team, and it's just nice to have good linebackers now. He had one good drive, but besides that, kind of locked down. Didn't see some huge lapses in coverage by the linebackers, which I didn't think that would happen anytime soon, Zach, being honest with you.
Yeah.
This defense really to be elite just needed linebackers to be like 23rd or 24th in the league. They just needed a small improvement. Not much, just not to be the 32nd. And I definitely think they're on their way to be a pretty good tandem there between Spates and Landman.
Any surprise that we didn't see T. Ferg?
I mean, you have to remember Sean McVay truthfully hates playing rookies, right? Like he rarely does. It's kind of like the rookie role with McVay. Don't expect to see a rookie very often unless if they have an injury to a position or they're like highly drafted. And even then, most of the time, like they'll sit, especially if they don't do blocking correctly. So I think it's either a mix between youth and the fact that he was a little injured, and it could also possibly be like issues with blocking. Because Lord knows if he keeps on rolling Parkinson out there over
Well,
the
that's the other
game,
thing.
there's an
Yeah, I mean
issue happening.
that's the other thing. We got Parkinson and Allen, which obviously Allen, he was crucial in getting that TD, but still it's hard when it comes down into like the pass game, into the blocking game. They need to really step up that bunch a little bit. I mean,
Also, where was Higbee the entire game? He felt invisible, man.
I mean, yeah, he was. I mean, let's see. Whoops, that's the defense. But if we
I
go
know he
back
had
and
a
look at
catch.
this, I
I'm
mean, he
pretty sure
played
he had
58% of the snaps. So he must have been more of the blocking, or just he wasn't that option available. So it's interesting. I don't know. It also just felt like the Rams were never on the field. The Rams offense just never felt like they were on the field this entire game. Like I said, they had 3 good drives.
They just had a lot of 3 and outs. We can also talk about how our screen game just did not work. Outside of one Corum screen, it was pretty bad blocking. Now, credit to Texans linebackers. They played a great game. That was a part of that horizontal movement I was talking about earlier. Just being able to take down our wide receivers. I'm trying to think if we threw any slip screens to tight ends. I don't think we did. But either way, just first contact, taking down our guys, not being able to kind of have any yak. That was a big thing that Texans defense kind of held us in check outside of Puka, right? Was not a lot of yak.
Do you know who our best run blocker was for the offensive line?
No, I haven't seen that stat.
Bo Limmer.
I mean, that doesn't shock me. He was good at run fits. The line overall was a lot better at run blocking last
Yeah.
year than pass
I
blocking.
just thought that was a fun, fascinating point that he was the highest amongst all of the offensive line when it came to run blocking.
His pass blocking is a man. Talk about a loot box. You do not know what you're gonna get out of Bo Limmer when it comes to a passing down. I mean, some plays he'll like hold up a elite edge rusher and they have like perfect form and technique and
Here,
like hold them up perfectly. And then others like he'll let a third stringer just go straight by.
he
It doesn't make any sense.
he only allowed 2 pressures this game though, so he played pretty well.
I mean, there's a lot where
I mean,
from what I saw, it wasn't the best. Now, given the circumstances, you can't be too upset at him. Like he's getting moved left, right, like all over the O line. So it's kind of like uh, it's a sucky situation to be in as a lineman and try to get like cohesion over that.
yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah, the land shark Falco, like land shark was all over the place. And we talk about Durant, that pick?
Yeah, it was a
That
nice
was a
pick.
good pick. That
It was
was
a good
a
pick.
good catch.
I mean, that was the debate was as similar to when Witherspoon caught it in the end zone last year of like, did the ground help enforce the catch? But that ball did not move in a millimeter.
I mean, it's the same thing with like the Parkinson fumble. I'm like, I guess we're counting the foot already on the ground as a step. I don't know when that happened, but whatever. It's almost always like 3 steps after when you caught it. But officiating crew was interesting, but I didn't
Oh
have
man,
huge problems like other people did.
the number of flags though. I mean, both sides. I feel like both sides were just getting like we're just flag, 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 flag. Here's some more
Yeah,
flag.
Texans had like 11 flags. It was a sloppy execution for a Sean McVay team, if we're being honest, right?
It was. I mean, it was. I mean, from all sides, it just felt both sides, both teams just felt very like penalty driven
And
for whatever
if we're gonna
reason.
call, if we're
18
gonna
total
call
penalties.
that reader hold on the return, can we call the guys choking out Verse to death at least, like once or twice? Give the man a little bit of help.
Yeah. No, I know.
It's just uneven and frustrating and that's most NFL games nowadays.
yeah. Roughing the passer when you get kind of pushed into them, even if it's by another defensive member. I know one of them they picked
Uh,
up, but
you
one of
you
them they
you gotta avoid pushing the quarterback unless if you absolutely know he has the ball.
well,
That's just
no, I'm
it.
talking about one of them. One of the other defensive players ran into him, which then made him continue to fall forward. It was more of an accidental hit, but it was still a hit. So
I'm fine with them calling that. You just can't be like hitting the quarterback above the shoulder like that. But it wasn't atrocious, is what I'm saying.
oh, it wasn't
Like
one of
I
those
can see it
blatant
going
ones.
either way.
Yeah, none of
Yeah.
the hits that were roughing the passer were blatantly
Oh,
terrible.
what do you think about Zach? Some people in the fan base saying the Texans were trying to headhunt Puka. Do you agree with that
They were
assessment?
playing they were playing very aggressively. I will say, I think that I don't know if they were trying to headhunt. I think that was the one injury that you're referring, the at least the beginning one with the head. I think that was, they were trying to make a statement, and I think the statement went a little too far, accidental, too far. But I think that that Texas defense were really trying to show their mark and how good of a defense they were going to be against Puka and Stafford and Devontae Adams. They were going to be very aggressive, and they showed it. I think even Jordan Rodriguez put out an article this week or today about that that determination by the Texas defense to really push the envelope a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, probably one of the better defenses we'll face when it comes to tackling and wrapping up. Outside of Puka, I think I mentioned it earlier. Just we didn't get much, and we got to kind of work on that. And we'll see a little bit easier of a defense against Titans, but still a top 10 defense, just not top 5 defense, right? So
yeah, we got a heavy hill to battle the next 2 weeks. I mean, Titans hopefully will be a little bit better, but then we go back and we go against the Eagles. So we really got to fine tune that a little bit.
I think the Eagles don't have a good defense this year.
Okay. I hope you are accurate in that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that on the Eagles preview. But week 1 again is a little weird, so maybe they just struggled against the Cowboys because there was a divisional game in week 1. I'll try to watch the Eagles game this week to see how they do and if they have better performance, because I was not impressed by how the Eagles played at all. And the Titans, I mean, that defense is just like up top to bottom. It's just like very consistent and I would say very good. You don't have a lot of elite players, but you have a lot of very good players. And they just make it a pain in the butt to move up and down the field.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be another challenge. Not as I don't think they're as elite as like the Texans defense. Obviously, the Titans were up against probably one of the best defenses maybe right now in the league with the Broncos. They wreck shop a lot on Cam Ward. So that's something that can the Rams defense continue to bring similar looks and center schemes and put the pressure on similar to what the Broncos did against the Titans. That's going to be the key again, is how much pressure are we giving the defense, or are we giving that Titans offense? Are we going to make it again where, this week the Rams didn't give up a single touchdown, or what are we going to see the defense going to do against this Titans? That the offense is still trying to figure itself out. Obviously, Cam Ward, he's new to the league, and so he's still trying to make his way through figuring out the NFL and how different it is from college. So it will be kind of exciting to see what this game looks like. I'll be there. I'm obviously nervous, and most Rams fans should probably be nervous that I'm going to the game. My record is not great at going to in-person games, but
1-5,
I will.
Right?
2-6.
2-6. Sorry, I gotta give you more credit. 2-6.
It's
going to be
3-6.
Man. It's going to be 3-6. That I find it hard to believe that Titans offense that showed up in week 1 is going to be able to move the ball at all, because they have less weapons than Texans do, right? They have a decent tight end, Chig Okonkwo, if I'm saying that correctly. And then you have Calvin Ridley, and everyone else are like a bunch of unproven wide receivers. So
you have Tyler Lockett. I mean,
Tyler
again, like
Lockett, it would have been good 5 years ago. Yeah.
sure, but he is a veteran wide receiver. It's still someone you shouldn't just take for granted. Um, is
They
all
had
I'm.
a ton of drops too in that game. I kind of felt bad because for the most part, um, he was throwing the ball very well, not perfect, but decently well. Had a few good uh, deep pass attempts, but you just kept on having people drop it. It was really weird to see in the NFL game consistently, especially on their last drive when the Titans were trying to win the game.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that last few minutes was just kind of nerve wracking for all of us, I think.
Yeah,
But I'm excited to be there. I'm excited to be able to go out and meet everybody who's coming out to the game. If you are coming out, please let us know. I would be great to meet up with you guys. Saturday, I'm trying to figure out where I put this. I'm gonna see if I can put this up while we're talking about it. Is that there is going to be a meetup on. All right, here it is. Where there is going to be a meetup on Saturday. This is obviously hosted by the Rams World Order. Obviously, there's these other people going to be there as well in Nashville. It's going to be awesome. 3 to 7. And then Jim Everett is actually going to be there. So I'm really excited that I will be going to meet Jim Everett. Yeah, bring you guys all the reporting live from Nashville.
yeah. Be loud, guys. We want to push Zach's record up 3-6, make the rookie a little unprepared. I wonder what McVay's record is against rookie QBs, actually. Right?
That would be interesting to know. I do not have that fact.
Yeah. We did lose to Caleb Williams last year. Given everything going on, so it it isn't
I don't want to talk
always.
about that. I don't want to talk about I was there too.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh, your win loss record against Rams with rookies is not great.
It's 0-1. Like, I'm sure it's not great. 0-1, you know, 0-1.
I went to see Justin Fields for first game, so that was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
The
But that
the worst game I've ever seen was against the Titans in 2021.
oh
That was the worst game I probably think I ever had to witness because that was the year they won the Super Bowl, and yet I saw the worst game in person ever. I was 1-1 that year.
it's fine. I got to see Tyler Huntley duke it out with Stafford. That was entertaining.
I bet.
And
I
OBJ
bet.
having an amazing touchdown grab.
Yeah.
Thought we were going to lose the game the entire time.
We all thought we were going to lose that game the entire time.
Yeah, yeah, to Tyler Huntley. Pro Bowler Tyler Huntley, may I remind you. I got to put respect on his name.
Last thing before we wrap up, the ECR Fantasy League. How you doing?
Oh,
How you doing?
I have not looked yet. I believe I was winning in the Dynasty League.
I am losing by 0.3 points, 0.32 points.
You were. Did you
I
go
am
against Derrick Henry?
no.
Ooh.
But I still have TJ Hawkinson. I need him to score 1 yard or something. Whatever our point value is, because I don't know what it is. But he just needs to score 1 point. What he doesn't even have
Yeah,
to score 1 point. He needs to score 0.33 points.
yeah. I went against my brother-in-law who had Barkley, Jackson, and the Broncos defense. So and I had Kenneth Walker and Jamar Chase. And Jamar Chase posting 4 points is not
Yeah, that's
not bueno, Zach. Not bueno for your first round pick to get 4 points. I mean, Buka getting 22 stopped me from getting blown out, but he's literally 25% of my points. So
yeah. My ECR league team is not great. Not great at all. My other two leagues, perfectly fine. ECR league, not great. Not great. So
yeah, Puka though put up good points, put up good fantasy points in
he did. He
every
gave
format.
me, yeah, I mean, he gave me like almost like 27 points, something like that in my other league. I think I have
Yeah,
him in
that
two
was
of my leagues,
savvy.
maybe. Oh no,
Him and
no.
Kyron did solid.
My 9-year-old daughter has Puka in her league, though I did dominate her. So
It's like
she
taking candy
has,
from a baby.
I mean, she has Jalen Hurts and Puka Nakua.
Yeah, that's not bad.
So not too shabby. I just unfortunately had Derrick Henry and
Oh
the
my
Broncos
gosh.
defense. So I mean,
Yeah,
Derrick Henry still gave me 28 points even with a fumble.
that
Uh,
that was a nuts game. I can't believe the Ravens lost that. I'm not complaining because I had Bills picked on Eliminator, and I think depending on if the Vikings win tonight, I would have only picked 3 games wrong. Dang, Panthers can't trust them win anything.
no, you can't.
Yeah,
That's
but the
obvious.
Jags are bad too. So like, I didn't know who would lose more, and it was the Panthers.
Yeah.
I bought into the Bryce hype, man. I thought Bryce was back, and he was going to not be complete terribleness.
No.
That didn't happen.
All right. You got anything else?
No, man. Looking forward to playing tight ends. Hopefully, you have a fun time. You get to interview some fans, uh, see how they're feeling, and how they feel after the game. Hopefully, very happy. And tell me how the food is. I've always wondered how the food at Titan Stadium is. So,
I don't know if I'll eat at the Titan Stadium. I am a firm believer of eating before I go, and then I don't have to leave my seat the entire time I'm at the stadium because I pay. I don't like to leave unless I have to go to the bathroom. I like to watch all
mm,
the action on the field and enjoy my 4 or 5 hours as I'm there. Um, so so I might not eat the food, but if I do, you'll be the first person to know about
mm. So you just sat the entire time staring at that Bears game.
it.
Struggled to move.
Well, yes, that it was a struggle. It was a struggle,
Yeah.
but I got to catch a ball with Kyron Williams. That was pretty fun. Got to play toss with Kyron Williams. You
Yeah.
don't say that every day. So
Yeah.
we're just going on a tire now. I got football playing on the background, so it keeps flashing these stupid commercials. Um, yeah, cool. Well,
Yeah.
we don't know if we'll do a full preview episode of the Titans game, but if not, we gave you a mini preview. Should be a good game. Our offense needs to get back to clicking on all cylinders, which I think it can do this week. It's going to be a hot one. It's going to be in the 90s in Nashville, at least
Mm.
as of today. So,
Wear
bring
that
a
sunscreen.
cooling towel. Yeah, wear
Yeah.
sunscreen, cooling towel, it'll be fun. But for everybody who's watching, thank you guys so much for joining us live. We had a really great episode last week. A lot of viewers, a lot of participation in the comments on our YouTube channel. So we appreciate every single person who comes and checks us out each and every week, whether you're live or whether you watch us on demand. You can find us at youtube.com/@EastCoastRams. You can find us on X at East Coast Rams, on Threads and Instagram at East Coast Rams Pod. And you can find us on Blue Sky by searching for East Coast Rams. With that, please make sure you like and subscribe, post the video, share it with your friends. We cannot wait to see everyone who is coming. Well, I can't wait to see everyone who's coming to Nashville. And we look forward to another Rams victory Monday next week. And with that, whose house? Rams house.